Hola guys, and que paso? What's going on? This is Hala Pablo, and we're going to do a little update on Bitcoin. Okay, it's been a few days. We've had some movement, haven't we? It's gone up, and it's come right back down, just like I said it would, right? All right, Bitcoin has been in a rising wedge on the macro for basically this entire trading range. This is our current range where we're in right now. It's come out of a big downtrend here, obviously, back in the beginning of November. We're still in the same trading range. It immediately went into a bearish symmetrical triangle here. You can see outlined by the trend line from which it distributed further. Now, I want to clarify something. When I say distribute, I don't mean forming a whole new trading range on the macro. I guess I should say, just to avoid confusion, pullback, or maybe a sign of weakness. So I use those terms interchangeably for distribution, and I apologize for that if some of you are getting confused between the macro and the micro terms. I'll try to get better at that in the future for the sake of simplicity when explaining these things. But we'll just say like this pulled back here to a sign of weakness right here. Now, I don't believe that this was a spring or let me get rid of this, or a terminal shakeout or anything like that, because it didn't go past the selling climax. This, of course, being the selling climax here. This is the ultimate area where the price action was halted. You have the preliminary support coming in here, but that was just the initial stoppage volume, and then but the real stoppage came here around 15.5, and so that's where the ocean came up to, and the shoreline begins, and then the ocean recedes back on this first wave. This forms the automatic rally. Now, the automatic rally points are very important as far as forming the macro liquidity void. And that is where later on in the trading range, if the market makers bring the price back up, that's kind of like a predictable rally point to where the price action comes back up and mitigates the void, like we see. This whole area between the automatic rally and where we touched at today is known as a liquidity void. It's what I call a liquidity void. And the area in beneath sometimes forms cup and handles, or all different kinds. That's where you have all of your ebbs and your flows and your signs of weaknesses, signs of strengths, pullbacks, and things like that take place between these two mitigation points in the liquidity void. So we had this big old liquidity void, but in the middle of that liquidity void, we had pullbacks, like what came out of this bearish symmetrical triangle. It came down here. See those Elliott waves? It came down here to create a sign of weakness. Remember, this is not a spring. I do not consider this a spring because it did not fall further than the selling climax. Came right back up, and we had some more sideward consolidation. Came back down again, and then we had this slow climb, which I thought would top out maybe around here. It was possible, and I thought we had a triple mitigation up here at this top. But I also, if you go back and watch the prior videos that I've done since, from like this week, I said it was entirely possible that we continue, that we have another pump. We have another pump that would, in fact, be a bull trap if it did. And quite possibly this bull trap can come up here, or it can even come up and mitigate the order block formed at the automatic rally. And so this would be the real UTAD instead of where I put it before, which was down at the signs of strength in this area here. I previously had this area marked as the UTAD. And so, yeah, you know, I had the idea right. It's just I underestimated how far up the market makers could drive Bitcoin in this FOMO before they pulled the floor out. And as it turned out, they were eyeing the $18,000 liquidity void, which is fine. That's something I said was entirely feasible, and it did. It mitigated it, and we had this massive freaking supply stoppage volume spike in the supply, which brought it down, canceled it out. Um, the volume that's come in since, the demand volume has been mediocre at best. So I don't see them coming back and retaking this liquidity void. They may come back and try like a retest. The bulls may come back and try to take it again, but no. I think we're seeing clear devil horns here. Now, devil horns are basically a double top. Here's another set of devil horns. Devil horns, or cuernos del diablo, form along trendline resistances after a FOMO pump, where you have this initial rally, comes back down, hits the support bar. Basically, it's trying to flip the support to resistance, and then shoots back up sharply, and that's the second horn. We see that happen here. We had the second horn shoot up, and in this case, it went right through the liquidity void. It looked like it was gonna. I mean, I remember on TradingView, the bulls were jumping in, and everyone's like, "Oh man, this is going. This is it. Never again. 18,000 and all that." And I, I've learned that some people you just can't get through to them. You're warning them about traps, you're warning them about liquidity, and you take heat for it. And so we were all ridiculed, of course, and the bears were all, the bears were stupid, and so, but I said, okay, we'll just wait, and wait it out. And sure enough, when this cancel spike came, it was, nobody was surprised. At least I wasn't surprised. And no one in my group was surprised, because I've been telling them that Bitcoin was going to distribute eventually. So that's what happened. So we saw the devil horns. Devil horns came back in. We had the cancel spike, and the price action has since fallen back, into the rising wedge. This being the right, here I have it on the 30-minute. Let's bring it up to an hour. We could do it on the 4-hour. We could do it on the daily. It doesn't freaking matter. I know there's people who get all bent out of shape about the time frames. Yeah, but when your TA is correct, you're correct regardless. So here's the rising wedge. And I don't care what time frame you put it on, you're going to get a rising wedge. And the second half of this Wyckoff range. So here's your rising wedge. Rising wedges are bearish continuation patterns. So, and then here are your set of devil horns right here. This was your bull trap here on top, and it's going to bring the price action back down into the rising wedge. I see possibly another retest of the micro resistance, and then back down again. We may have a little bit more consolidation within it, but eventually we should break through to the bottom of this, and then we're going to see perhaps whole scale distribution, perhaps remitigating, maybe a triple mitigation along the selling climax here. I think that's pretty much inevitable. If you look at all these bottoms, they usually form double bottoms on the macro. You should be able to see double bottoms on the macro for Bitcoin every time. Here's a double bottom. Here's a double bottom on the macro. Here's a double bottom. Comes back down here. That's a liquidity void mitigated. That's a liquidity void mitigated. Mitigation along the microtrend support, and then here's another mitigation, and then it went all the way up here, mitigated on the top on the extension here at the 18,000. Likewise, it should come back down and retest this area around 15.5, and then if there's more to go, I believe that there's quite possibly we have more to fall after that. The 1.618 Fibonacci retracement puts us at 13,000 from here. according to these highs and lows on this present range, which I still think is a redistribution. So we'll see what happens. I could be wrong, you know. I'm not saying that I know everything that's going on, because I don't. I'd be an asshole if I did, and you shouldn't listen to me, because there's a lot of scammers out there that will shill coins, Bitcoin maximalists or whatever. I'm not like that. I'll tell you first and foremost, I don't have a crystal ball, so it is entirely possible, albeit unlikely, that we retest this area here, and somehow the bulls muster up enough demand. Suddenly demand comes surging back in. I don't know how that's possible with all the FUD going on right now, and all the stuff going on with the interest hikes, and with Binance and the recession and all that stuff, FTX. There's a lot of fear swirling around in the crypto universe right now. I don't see suddenly lunar when I say lunar, macro scale demand suddenly surging in the volume to be able to push the price action through this mighty supply block here, through to where it retests and goes back up. It's possible that we can come back up and try to mitigate this $20,000 supply bar up here, but that I just don't see that happening. I just don't see the volume. Of course, it's possible, but I just don't see the volume, guys. So I see making another attempt at the 18,000 failing, just because of this massive supply spike. If that means anything, that's just, there's a lot of supply, and obviously the market maker sold into this last pump, which was a FOMO pump, obviously, and formed the UTAD. And then everything from here on in, as it marks down, is going to be a last point of supply, last point of supply, last point of supply, until we get back down to the $15,000 area, 16,500, 15,000, and then that just remains to be seen. That's if we don't push through this right here, which again I don't see us doing. So anyway, I'm holding on. I'm watching it. So far, I've been I feel like I've been exonerated with my TA, and so if you've gotten anything out of this, yeah, let me know. Like, subscribe. More videos to come, more updates to come. We're gonna be looking at Ethereum. I'm gonna be looking at Ethereum. I'm gonna be looking at Solana. I'm gonna be looking at Terra Classic, which is Luna C, or Wrapped Luna, which those of us who held it since, purchasing on Coinbase before the suspensions have. I'm a big holder of Luna, Wrapped Luna, Shiba Inu, AVAX. I'm going to be coming out with updates on all of those right now. The alts have been kind of sedentary while Bitcoin had its day in the sun today. So we'll see what happens now with them. And if I see anything noteworthy, or something that you need to know about, or an opportunity to swing trade and make a couple bucks off them by going long, I will be sure to let you know. I'll drop you a couple charts, and we'll take it from there. All right, guys, it's been fun. It's been real. I hope you got something out of this. Like, subscribe if you like solid TA, no bullshit, and I'll keep letting you know what I think. It's my opinions, it's my, take it or leave it. Hopefully you take it. Okay, guys, I gotta go. Take care, and bye-bye. Adios.